All right, class. So we'll start with the next one, which is style and color for Seaborn. So this is the last one for this section. So make sure that you download it. Click download, open it up in Colab, and then we'll follow along. All right. So the first thing we want to do. So we're just gonna talk about styles and colors for our graphs on Seaborn. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we import Seaborn as SNS. Again, it's not a rule, but it's a standard that we all follow. Most people follow, right? We're gonna also import matplot lib.py plot as plt. Okay, we'll use it. Let's make sure that this is running. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna manage sessions. Okay, let's turn off all of them. I mean, yeah. All right. So let's run this. And so what we're gonna do here is just practically gonna talk about a very simple type of graph, which is, we talked about it before, the count plot with different projections. It's gonna be very similar to the one for Matplot. We're gonna be able to use some of these tools that we use over there. So we're gonna start first with sns.count plot, and we're gonna use x. Oh, I forgot to add a code. Let me put this one on top. So I forgot to download the data. So let's download the data from the SNS load data set. And again, it's going to be tips. Again, this is a built-in data from the Seaborn, and we're just going to download it so we can actually play around with it. X will be sex, male or female in this case, and then the data will be coming from tips. All right, so we can, what this is going to do is going to count how many males and females do we have, and the data, we saw that before. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna be able to change the style of our SNS. So we're gonna set the style to white, and then, oops, SNS dot count plot x equal sex equals data tips. So it didn't do much of change, right? It should have changed, I think, the background, but anyways, I think it's because white, we don't see it. But anyways, it seems like we're not changing much. Let's copy this, and let's change the palette to deep. This should change the color. So you can see it's a little bit faded color. We can remove some of the spine. Remember, we talked about spines in Matplot, so we can remove the same thing on our count plot. The tips. Yeah. Yeah, so we can remove the spine. As you can see, the top and the right side of the spine, we remove it by just doing the SNS spine. There's not much to do here. We can remove other ones by doing the left side remove, right? So we can do left equals true, and you can see that we can remove the left side spine, and we can do also the bottom if we want to. We can extend any graph that we want by doing the figure fig size equals 12,3 SNS dot count plot x equals x data equals tips. So what we're doing here is we're extending the graph and that we want to create, and by just doing the same procedure that we did for the Matplot, we can set up the size of our figure, and we can just take that figure that we want to graph, right, and just add the data on our SNS count plot. Nothing special. We can actually do the same thing for our SNS LM plot, linear regression, and we can take our x, which is defined to be a total bill, y equals tip size equals 2 aspect equals 4 data tips. So size. Let's remove size again. I don't think it's there anymore. So I think it's height. So we'll remove the size, and that allows us to be able to make a grade. It's gonna use this size figure right here for our graph, and so that's beneficial. We can use the SNS dot set context to define the setup of our numbers, our labels, and we're gonna set them equal to 4. SNS dot count plot x equals x data equals tips, and then the palette we're gonna make it equal to cool warm. So what we're doing here is we're setting up the context of the labels, and we're gonna put it into our count plot. So not only how we did it for the figure, we can do it for the context, that we can set up the size of it, right? So we're setting up the font scale and the type of font, and then we're gonna be able to create our graph based on that. So we graph this, and this is huge, right? A little too big. Let's make this. I think we can make it 1. There you go, a little bit better. All right, so that's the end of that section. There's not much to do on this one. Other than that, you can always go and do there's one here that we can do is CNS copy